I'm going to show the problem I had with my 863 Bobcat Skid Steer. It had a leaking control valve, namely the lift and tilt spool valves were leaking. I'll show how I replace that. It's just a small bag of parts. And it cost too terribly much, but took a fair amount of time to get it so you could disassemble it and pull those parts and put them in. I also demonstrate a simple tool I built to help with the installation of the 4 detent balls. Made that a very easy task. There's a couple of resources here. Bobcat Parts has excellent blown up diagram of the parts, how they assemble in there. That's very good. Of course, the shop manual Bobcat has as well is great, good as far as it goes. There's one YouTuber out there. How did I do it? That was excellent. Helped me zero in on the problem. So he helped direct me into that, showed how he repaired it on the 773 skid steer. There's some differences that the 863H that I have from his, and so I'll try to highlight that and show you what I did to overcome those differences so I could repair it while the control valve was inside the machine.
Alright, that's the screwdriver there, and you can see a bubble rising right there on the screen now. If I bring it back, and it will drop momentarily. Boom, there it goes. Come back out a little bit. There's the screwdriver. So that bubble is towards the right side of the machine from where the screwdriver is. This is looking up underneath through the access port between the wheels.
I'm in the process of assembly here, and I thought I'd point out a couple things when I'm thinking of it. Well, first off, this here little red piece was this thing right here. There was I call him a hammer mechanic that worked on this before I did, and apparently he never moved this off, and he pulled the front plate off the machine, and that snapped this thing apart and bent the little rod that goes into the device down below. So if you're going to take that front plate off, make sure you take that guy off. Now, I don't think this front plate coming off on this particular machine gives you that much more flexibility. There's other things that you have to take off that really improve or even allow you to actually do it while the control valve is still in the machine. But the front plate, if you do take it off, don't be stupid like the guy who put this thing on. He tightened these on this machine, the levers control the movement of the Bobcat is a cable, one on each side, and they're held on by a U-bolt. The U-bolt clamps around this part here and then into the plate over here. The guy tightened them so tight that he actually bent the plate and then deformed the U-bolt, so I had a heck of a time getting that off the machine. Now you may need to pull these cables off so you have more room when you're working in back. This cable here, the one on the left side of the machine, that one's far enough away from you, you don't need to worry about that guy. The let's see, that would be we got the tilt, and we got the lift lever. The lift lever has this piece of steel runs across the back and pivots in the center of the machine. What makes it easier to work on is just disconnect on the left side here, and then disconnect it from the control valve. You'll be able to spin that rod out of the way, use some zip ties and tie it up so it's out of your way completely. Same with a lot of these connectors and stuff. They're in your way, just disconnect them and zip tie the whole mess off to the one side. If you had removed this front plate, there's 3 bolts on the bottom on this machine that should be installed first, because that helps align the entire plate with the rest of the bolts. The 2 outer bolts are a little bit longer than the center bolt, and those hold on to I believe it's this feature right here that goes down. This feature right here that goes down to the plate, and they have a nut on the end. So those are where those 2 longer bolts go. The rest, I believe, are all the same length. So it's just the 2 outer, one on each side, left and right. Yep, you can see it from here. You can see where the right there, that when I'm hitting, that would be the tilt, and then beneath that, which is that piece of steel here that runs in and it grabs a hold of it, that would be the lift spool valve. And I believe the rest of it's straightforward, because it's easy to disconnect that stuff, and it should be easy enough to run the Phillips screws in to hold that. That's why I say I think this is, on this particular machine, this whole front plate, disconnecting that is just a waste of time. The things you need to discuss, let me pause this for a second and I'll show you where that is. All right, you have to bear with me that I have to pick the camera up and hold it, so it'll be a little wobbly. The fuel hose here, that has to be disconnected up here at the top, and the hose just shoved back into the cavern back there. It is definitely in the way. Then the other 2 hydraulic tubes that have to come out or be disconnected and moved if you can is this one here, and then if you look same level, the one right behind it or to the rear, that has to be disconnected. They have to be both tubes have to be disconnected here at the control valve and back where they tie into the rest of the plumbing behind the machine, back in this direction back in here. You'll see that if you just follow them through. They have to be disconnected. There's just no way to get that spool valve out, either one. And again, this bolt here, don't need to remove that. Just disconnect the arm on the left side and from the spool valve here on the right side, and then you can pivot that guy back and tie him off, get him out of the way. And that should be and you're going to need, this is the reservoir tank back here, right here. You're going to need to drain that anyways, so you minimize some of the fluid coming down out of here. I just disconnected it here and then pulled all this stuff off to the left and tied it off. Hopefully that helps. All right. Made a tool to put the little detent balls into the lift spool. So we'll see how well that works. It's similar to what you might find, just two pieces of steel, a couple divots in there to hold the balls in place, and then we squeeze them in place. So we'll see. Put some grease in there to keep the balls from flying around. A piece of extraneous BS. And one on this side. So that holds them there. We've got the spring stuck inside there already. And this is just really a practice run to see how well it works. Alright, so here we go. Hopefully this is viewable. Let's see. Balls are pushing that one in. Oops. No, that didn't work. Let's get that guy back where he belongs. We'll try pushing that bottom one in all the way and bring in the top. There we go. Nice firm grip. All right, no balls dangling on the outside. We'll put this little cap on and shove it right down in place. There we go. Simple. There we go. I view my tool as a success. It seems to keep it in place as well. There we go. I don't know if that's visible or not. Just chunks of steel, 1-inch hole drilled into it. On a pivot, we're all set. Well, I just had one of those damn it moments, actually two of them, but it'll be okay because they turned out all right. What this is the lift spool valve parts that you see here. I pulled this here screw out of here, which had this plug down in here along with that small O-ring, if you will. I use the method of heating up a ball-faced Allen wrench, red hot, and just sticking the hot end down into here into the plastic and letting it cool, and then just pulled it right out. That left this little O-ring that stuck down in here, still remained. And I tried to take a tool that I bent the end on here to reach down in here and pull it out. That didn't work. What I wound up doing is breaking the tip off. So I had in here that O-ring and the tip of this tool here stuck down in there. What I did was taped off all the holes with electrical tape except for one here. And then I took a shop towel, put it on the end, took my air hose here, and with compressed air blew the remaining portion of this off, as well as the little O-ring. What I wonder if maybe this first step here of heating up an Allen wrench and to pull that plug out was even needed, and not just tape all the holes off except the one, and then just use air to force the whole assembly right on out the thing. Because once I did that, that was so easy. No headache whatsoever. Okay, now the second damn it was I heard, read, all talk about just one set of, one detent spring and the two balls that go with it. And that fits into this device here. You can see the hole on top and it comes all the way through. Well, there's also another set down below, and that sits into here, which sits into here, which sits into here, right? As I was pulling all that stuff out to clean it, that's when I discovered the extra spring and two balls. Now, I probably wouldn't have had to do that, but as I was saying, I was cleaning it. And if I had known that earlier, I think I would have just left it alone and not worried about it. I chased that guy off around on the shop to pick him up. But, I don't know. I was thinking that Bobcat's parts had made a mistake when they were showing 2 springs and 4 balls. But obviously they were correct. I checked my shop manual, sure enough, right in there. You know, what can I say? You know, just I blasted through the instructions in there, looked at some YouTube videos, and I didn't see any reference to that second set. But now, a little wiser. Well, I don't know if this is viewable or not, but the little ridge on the new seal is just barely visible on the old seal. New seal is the green one on the right, old is the brown one. And the seal is noticeably stiffer, the old one is, than the new. So, probably a good idea to have replaced them. Well, there we go, all assembled. And as they say in a lot of books, assembly is a reverse of disassembly, and they let you go from there. But what, of course, assembly is to take a new plastic plug with a new O-ring, and that gets stuck down into the spool valve here, or the spool valve shaft. Then the stud gets screwed down on the top of it until just 6/10 of an inch is sticking out past the material here, and you'd see it if you had taken it apart. They want 6/10 of an inch outside of that. Then you put on the one of the seals, fat end, or if you want to call it the large end, going down towards the body. This piece here, one of the large washer with the shoulder on it, that one goes down against the valve. It's the only way it can fit. The other washer, which has a cup feature to catch the spring, sits right up on top. Then you take the assembled, you have to already have assembled one of the detent springs and balls inside the detent feature, whatever you want to call it, the little gizmo that's in there. That sits on top, that pushes down, then you screw, what is it? Yeah, you screw the piece right down into it, and that gets tightened down to 90 to 100 inch-pounds. You put in the next detent spring, and then this cap fits down over that and keeps it all in place. This tool I made works extremely well for this. I am pleased. If I had the camera on, I'd be doing a victory lap right now. But that worked very well. I don't know if you can see it, but it's real simple to make. 3/16 inch thick steel. This was a plate that I left whole until I knew what the dimension was at. Bored a 1-inch hole into it, then split the plate, tack welded the handles to it. Just one little piece right here to keep it separate so that both of these are on the same plane. So the only thing now again is we'll probably put a little grease in this thing, put the cap on, and then I'll start on the other valve. All right, this is the tilt spool. Thank you. Pretty simple. And it all falls apart. Good deal. This one here had a Loctite product on it. So we'll clean it all up and put it back together. Alright. It's supposed to be on top. So it should go on here. This little thing goes inside there. Okay. This is kind of a bitch. All right, center that guy on there. We didn't put Loctite on. The book didn't say to put any kind of Loctite on. In one spot on the other spool, he said don't use Loctite, so we'll leave it off. Set it to 95. Pull this guy out of here. £95 inch. And that takes care of the tilt spool.